All right, folks, what is going on? This is episode 498 of the First and Frame Rate Show. I am VF Baller. We are 2 away from 500. I remember we was at 400, and I kind of made a big deal about it. I did a Q&A. I may do that again. I will give you an update on that when it comes like around maybe on Twitter, or I'll probably do an update on it like on episode 499. I'll let you guys know if I'm willing to do another Q&A. I may do something different. I'm not really sure, but since it's around Christmas time, I'm not really going to push it too much, but 500 episodes is a really big deal, and I want to thank you guys for the support. We're almost there, so let's just continue to move and get ourselves in tune with what's going on here at Georgia Southern. Georgia Southern football just added some transfers that are going to be coming to the school within the next few weeks. I think at the beginning of the year, I think that's when the transfers come in. So we'll be talking about them today. And I think they're excellent guys that we have on that are coming to the school. So I can't wait to get these guys implemented to what Coach Clay Helton and company have in store offensively and defensively with Coach Will Harris. If this is your first time here, welcome. This is the First and Frame Rate Show. I talk about mostly Georgia Southern and Atlanta Falcons football. I may talk some Atlanta Falcons football on the next episode because we are playing the Ravens and Desmond Ridder is going to get a second start. I probably would end up doing that, but it's just so much excitement going on here at Georgia Southern. And we have not only a great, recruiting class coming in with what happened with signing day, but we do have some great transfers that are coming in, some excellent additions that are going to be on the team. So I want to talk about each one, but before I get to those guys, one thing I want to do, I am on Anchor, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts, also on YouTube. So any podcast platform that I'm on, you can check me out there. Will be awesome if you subscribe to that. Also, I have BetUS, the affiliate link down in the description. If you want to bet or put any wagers on any games from NBA, NFL, any of these bowl games, MMA, esports, any of that stuff, go to that link, put down $100, and you will get 125% bet book bonus, which out the gate, basically you double your money. And from there, you will be able to put wages on all of these games that are coming up, and it'll be a good time. I know we got Christmas shopping going on, but why not try to double, triple, quadruple, even quintuple your money by making some good wages? But the link's down in the description. Hope you check all that stuff out, and let's go ahead and get into this. I got these guys here on the screen. You got Anthony Queeley, you got Cameron Williams, Jalen Barton from Pitt, you got Keaton Upshaw from Kentucky, Davon Bolin from Bowling Green, and I want to say Anthony Queeley is from Syracuse. So they're all transferring here to Georgia Southern to play football next season. Hopefully we can keep them around because you know how things are going now with transfer portals and people moving and this, that, and the third. I think these guys would be excellent. But I would be remiss if I would not finish off the rest of the signing day yesterday. I forgot 3 names. One is actually a transfer that is coming from Georgia State. I'm glad to see him come on to the team. I think his name is Broadway. I want to make sure I get that right because I want to let everybody know that we are going to be the prominent team when it comes to Georgia State. Georgia Southern is always going to be Southern, not State, because we don't have time for any of those Panthers trying to come back and, think they're the better team. I know that they have our number for the most part and basically was one of the teams that pretty much have our number. I hate the fact that it's that way, but hopefully we can turn that around because I'm sick and tired of losing to that team. Bryson Broadway, he transferred from Georgia State to Georgia Southern. This is what I'm talking about. Get most of their players, show them how to utilize their players in our offense. He's going to be another offensive lineman. Once again, we're just going to continue to, have the best protection for our quarterback, whoever it may be, whoever will be QB1. Only gave up, you can count on one hand how many sacks we gave up last year. Hopefully we'll continue to do that. So Bryson Broadway, welcome to Eagle Nation. Can't wait to get you guys on campus. Also, Two linebackers come in, and Holden Trice from Kennesaw, 5'11", 205. Good to get that some more of that depth at linebacker, so I can't wait to see how that goes. As far as adding more people on that, in that area, because we was lacking that linebacker. And also the one that everybody's been talking about, and that kind of jumped on me because I didn't speak on him, but I knew he was coming in, and I think I spoke on him very, very briefly. But let's give him a name. Jamari Whitehead, 6'3", 220, out of Jacksonville, Florida. This kid, I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't have the stats on Holden Trice, but we will talk about him sometime down the road. I really will, because I couldn't find any of the information. But on GSEagles.com on the website, they have Jamari Whitehead stats, and this kid looks like he's going to be the guy that we need at our defense. The core of our defense could be a possible leader on our defense, and I know it's young because he is a freshman. But let's get into this. 6'3", 220, Jacksonville, Florida, Raines High School. 81 tackles as a senior, included 19 tackles for a loss and 13.5 sacks. This kid looked like he could be the guy that we really been looking for pretty much ever since Rashad Byrd has left. And you know how long that's been since Rashad Byrd has been gone. And for him to have him there, and hopefully we can get another linebacker, someone like a Raynard Ellis to help us, solidify that linebacker core. So that's where Holden Trice could come in. Those two guys could really come in and make some things happen. I know we had Kevon Glenn, we had a couple other guys that played linebacker, but when you got a guy like Jamari Whitehead, somebody could take the reins and step up to be a leader on defense. I think this could be the guy. I mean, to get him out of Jacksonville, come up the road to play with us at Statesboro, basically coming right up I-95, you cannot ask for a better situation, not only just for him, but for the Eagles as well. It seems like it's going to be a win-win, because what this guy brings to the table is exactly what we need, and I'm pretty sure the guy like this, if he can, show out during practice throughout the offseason and spring practice, we're probably looking at our middle linebacker. We're probably looking at that right in front of our eyes. So Holden Trice, Jamari Whitehead, those two guys are coming. I can't wait to see what these guys can do. It's going to be really awesome to see having those guys there. Now, I've talked enough about those guys. Let's talk about these transfers, because I know it's been, I took too long talking about all this other stuff. I want to apologize. Let's talk about these transfers, like seriously. Cameron Williams, we're going to start off with, let's start off at the top of the image that we have on the screen. Anthony Quealy, 6'2", 199 for Syracuse. I'm looking at this kid like, all right, along with him, Katie Dorsey, Marcus Sanders, you got Sam Kinderson, Derwin Burgess. We got some serious weapons here. Serious weapons. And he didn't play much for 2022. I don't know if he was injured or he just was able to see the field, but in 2021, he had 15 catches for 222, and in 2020, he had 37 catches for 378. Now, you got to understand, 2020 was the COVID year, and you didn't see that much playing, so I think most teams maybe played about 5 to 6 games for the most part. I think the ACC didn't play that much. I can't remember. But anyway, 37 catches for 378 was pretty good during that time. If you put up those type of numbers, that was pretty awesome. But he's capable of putting up these numbers. He didn't see much of playing time in 2022. So he's going to come down here to play at Georgia Southern, play to his strengths, and at that size and with that athletic ability, I think he's going to be able to do some really good things in our offense. So this is an excellent, excellent pickup for Georgia Southern to get a big physical receiver with Power 5 experience, bring him down, and let him play in this air raid offense. Next person I want to talk about, Jalen Barden. If you know anything about this kid, if you're from the Georgia Southern Statesboro area, he is from Lizelle, Georgia, played in the Macon area. I think that's in the Macon area. Quote me if I'm wrong, but it's somewhere in that area. Nevertheless, this kid has ability to do great things on the field. I've seen some of the highlights that he's had. Excellent, excellent guy that can get over the top and catch the deep ball. This is exactly what you would want in your offense. So with Jalen Barton playing at Pitt, had a quarterback like Kenny Pickett throwing up him the ball or whatever the case may be. So he knows what it's like to catch really good passes. And nevertheless, this is what we need. In 2021, he played in 8 games, 9 catches for 174, shown flashes, 2 touchdowns. Like I said, shown flashes that he can actually do some things. 2020, he played in 9 games, 7 receptions for 140 and 1 touchdown, longest catch of 68. And in 2022, he didn't play as much. He had played in 8 games, 3 receptions, 19 yards. So you start to see a trend here where a lot of these guys aren't necessarily playing as much in 2022, and it's one of the reasons why they do transfer. Because if you don't get playing time, or if you're injured or you get lost in the sauce on the depth chart, you can pretty much go somewhere where you are going to be able to get more exposure. And if you're a wide receiver like a Quealy or a Barden, why not come to a place like this? This is the place where you want to be, because you know we're going to throw the ball. You know we're going to get everybody out there. All the receivers are going to get some shine. I promise you, all the receivers are going to get some shine, and you're going to be able to get your name known out there. You know, I mean, look at Jeremy Singleton. Jeremy Singleton came from Houston and came to Georgia Southern and was able to make a name for himself. I think he's going to be looked at by some scouts throughout the offseason. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens to him as well. But you have these 2 receivers coming in, and it's going to be pretty awesome. We're going to stay on the receiver path, but I want to talk about the guy in the middle that's on the image on the screen. You're looking at Keaton Upshaw, 6'6", 246 out of Lima, Ohio. He played for the Wildcats last year, and he's coming to Georgia Southern. With a guy with this size and with this pedigree to play at a high level in the SEC, and you got to understand, the SEC for Kentucky, they had some pretty good they had some pretty good success. So he knows how to play in big games. He knows what it's like. He could bring that experience down and show what this team is made of. Now, in 2022, he did not play. I ain't gonna say he did not play as much. I don't know. I didn't look at all. I'm just looking at the stats. But in the games that he played, 4 catches for 50 yards, no touchdowns. This goes back to saying that he probably didn't get that much playing time. I'm not sure if he was injured or not. I'm looking to see. It doesn't say. But in 2020, he had 16 catches for 198, 3 touchdowns. So he has the ability to do some big things, and it looks like he's ready. If you look at his Twitter feed, he already has the Georgia Southern gear on. I don't know if it's Photoshopped or whatever, but he already has it on. He's ready to go. Nevertheless, you got a guy like this in this offense. Once again, like I said, with Quealy, you got Barden, you got all the other guys that I mentioned that's already on the team, the Burgesses, the Kennersons, the Marcus Sanders. You got these guys that are ready to go, and you're just bringing these 3 guys come in, and if these guys hang around, we're going to have a really, really nasty offense. And I mean that in a good way. We already got the good running backs. We already got the offensive line. You mean to tell me we get a quarterback there that could throw the ball? He's going to have no problem getting the ball to any of these guys. And I'm not joking when I say that. No problem getting the ball to these guys. So that is awesome to see these 3 guys coming in, and we're going to see how that plays out. Now, let's flip to the defensive side of the ball. Let's talk about this guy from Washington, Cameron Williams. He is coming in to play for Georgia Southern. Safety, 6'2", 200 pounds from Bakersfield, California. This is a product of Coach Will Harris. Will Harris was the cornerbacks coach for Washington prior to coming down to Georgia Southern. So this was this was something I was really banking on once we started getting the staff implemented into what Georgia Southern does. I wanted to see more guys come from the West Coast that has, ties to Coach Clay Helton or Will Harris. I mean, you already saw what was it? His name was from I think Waylon Free was one of them. You saw him come. I think he came from Fresno State. You also saw Denton came from Ole Miss. I apologize. Denton came from Ole Miss. But you saw like a Waylon Free come in, and you saw him start to make a difference playing for Georgia Southern at safety. So we got another guy coming in at defensive back. Played a lot. I think he played a lot of safety for them. Let's see. He played 4 games in 2022. So he did play a little bit in 2022. Played 7 games in 2022. Let me back up. Played 7 games in 2021, starting 3. He missed 5 games after that. But he had let me look at his stats real quick. He had a pretty good game against Montana. And in 2021, he played 5 games. That's interceptions, I'm sorry. It doesn't have anything here for his tackles, so that's pretty. Oh, there it is. It took me a while for my computer to come up. So he had 8 solo tackles, 5 assisted, 13 total, 1 tackle for loss. In 2019, he had 3 interceptions. So ever since then, he's been kind of up and down after that because he had 32 total tackles in 2019. So he has a lot of experience. Once again, somebody who's coming in, who we need to experience and knows Coach Harris is on defense and actually be able to be like a general or a coach on the field. Between him and Jamari Whitehead, it's going to be really interesting to see how these dudes or these guys mesh together and learn from one another, especially when you have a veteran like Williams and he can teach the younger guys how to, run this 4-2-5 multiple defense. I'm all over the place. So it's going to be really interesting to see about that because I think this is a really huge pickup for us. And last but not least, we got Devon Ferguson. Devon Ferguson, cornerback out of Baltimore, Maryland, used to play in Kansas, and he moved on to Bowling Green. This kid looked like he could be something really, really nasty on that defense. This guy's not afraid to tackle. He's not afraid to get after the ball. He was one of the better players in the MAC, and before his injury, he had honorable mentions for a preseason All-American, Athlon Sports First Team All-MAC, Field Steel preseason 3rd team. He was East and West Shrine Bowl 1,000 list member. This kid was on his way. Now, the thing about this is he started the first game and played against UCLA, made 6 stops, including 5 solo tackles in the season opener at LSU. Also had a sack as well. So this kid, I think he got injury he had an injury in the second game against EKU, Eastern Kentucky, and was not able to see the field ever since. After that, looks like he is moving on to Georgia Southern. And I'm going to tell you right now, I know we talk about some of the cornerbacks that we had, and we had issues with coverage and tackling on defense. When I look at a guy like Cameron Williams, you look at another guy like Devon Ferguson, you got these 2 linebackers, Trice and Whitehead, coming out of high school to come play for us. Talk about these other defensive guys that we have, the Kebasekas of the world, the other guys that we had that has been committed to the team. I think this defense is going to look much, much different than what it was last year. Now, the defense was very, 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 very close to breaking when I said it was a bend don't break defense. But now, what we look like, what we have now, like I said, the Whiteheads, the Kebasekas, the Holden Trice, Brandon Palmer, Elijah Lacey. I'm looking at the other guys. Alden Jackson, the defensive back that could be playing as well. Jacob Ferguson is another one. We have some guys here. I'm not gonna say all of these guys that are coming in from high school is gonna be playing right away, but if need be, I think these guys are gonna be able to play they're gonna be pretty productive. And I think that's what we need more than anything on defense. I know a lot of people talking about we need that Power 5 transfer quarterback. We need this quarterback. We need the quarterback because we saw what Kyle Van Treese can do, and I'm not against that. Don't get me wrong. I'm not against it. But I feel like we could be doing ourselves a disservice by bringing guys, the guys that we already brought in, not giving them a chance to do something. Because I do feel like the transfer from Boise State, Colton Fitzgerald, I think he has something. I still feel like Zach Roseman may can do some things. Connor Cegelski is still here, and Connor showed promise when he played against BYU. Don't count these guys out, guys. I understand it. You want the flashy name. You want a guy with the name that could probably have all the experience in the world. But sometimes to get experience, you got to build experience. And if you got guys with the weapons that we have now on the outside and the running back and the offensive line, I think we have a mechanism and we have a setup to have these guys really, the quarterbacks in a really good position to succeed. This is not like how it was in 2018, 2019, or 2017, where we had a bunch of run blockers, trying to be pass blockers, or run blockers that couldn't pass block. We got guys now that are entrenched at what this air raid offense is, and all you need is a quarterback that can make good reads. And I feel like we have at least one of these guys could do that. Let's not count these guys out just yet. Now, I will say this before I go. I am not against getting a transfer quarterback. I'm not against it at all. But we also have to understand if we don't get one, I think we'll be in good shape. I think now we could put up 30, 40, maybe 50 points a game. And with the guys that are coming in on defense, we may be the best team in the Sunbelt. I'm not joking. I know Troy did excellent in their day. You haven't heard anything from Appalachian State? Nothing. You haven't heard anything from Georgia State? Nothing. Marshall is doing something really nice up there as well. I saw what Marshall is doing too. Marshall's doing all right. But I saw Troy doing, but you don't hear nothing else in the Sunbelt. And I've been watching. Georgia Southern is making a splash. And just because we don't get that one quarterback, that doesn't mean the rest of the quarterbacks are trash. We got to give these guys a chance if need be. So I've said enough. I think I said everything I needed to say. Let me know what you guys think. If you like this commentary, hit the like button, share this podcast. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'm on YouTube and Rumble. I'm also on Anchor, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts. Let me know what you guys think about these transfers. Let me know what you guys think about signing day. I think we got an excellent class. And it would be hard-pressed for me to think that, even though Appalachian State will always be a formidable foe, I don't think they could touch what we got. I just don't believe it at this point. Maybe they got some good guys up there, but I don't think they could touch what we got. But we'll see. And I don't even want to talk about Georgia State. Don't want to talk about them. I know y'all beat us. I know y'all be 6-3. We got a better record. Enough. I'm going to say I done heard enough. I'm tired of hearing about it. Georgia Southern, that's something we need to do. We need to beat them Panthers up there. Or they come to Paulson this year, right? Yeah. All right, I done said enough. I'm just rambling. All right, y'all take it easy. Y'all be blessed. Peace.